Always the first to break the story. They are the voice of the voiceless here, the Somali journalists, forced to work in a difficult environment, under attack from both militants and the government. On this day, gunmen attacked a popular hotel in Mogadishu. To the journalist, this was just but another assignment. But a freelance photojournalist, Mohammed Shafana, lost his life on that day. He was killed in a deadly car explosion outside the Sahafi Hotel. Just but a reminder of how dangerous the media environment is here in Somalia.
Journalists also pay a very heavy price. 30 Somali journalists since 2008 have been murdered without anyone being brought to justice for that. This is a really difficult environment for you all to work in.
The most recent attack in early December claimed the life of Hindia Haji, a female reporter working with state-run Radio Mogadishu and Somali National TV. Just like Shafana, Hindia was killed in a car bomb explosion, fitted into her vehicle and detonated as she left her university.
As the National Union of Somali Journalists, we express our concern towards the killings, threats and imprisoning of reporters. We also condemn the violation of journalists by any group.
Somalia has a thriving media industry, one that has created more job opportunities, especially for the young people and recent graduates. Despite these challenges, these reporters remain relentless in their quest in keeping the Somali story alive. Rights groups have also ranked Somalia top in the Global Impunity Index, where journalists are murdered regularly and their killers go unpunished. But reporters in Somalia now demand government protection and want authorities to punish those accused of killing media professionals. Abdulaziz Bilo, CCTV, Mogadishu, Somalia.
Right now, to discuss the security concerns further, we are now joined live by Abdulaziz Bilo, who joins us from Mogadishu in Somalia. Abdulaziz, the latest killings of journalists in the capital there, Mogadishu, is highlighting the threat of violence against the media. But just how bad is the situation?
Well, Mahia, that has indeed become a major worry, a major concern here in Somalia. Journalists and media professionals have found themselves caught up between the warring factions here in Somalia. They found themselves caught up between conflicts that are related to Al-Shabaab, and have also been caught up in conflicts that come from the government side and AMISOM through the African Union partners rather. So basically the media professionals here in Somalia, who also remain on the front line in covering the events and any unusual events that happen in Somalia, have come under deadly attack. Especially the main concern in this case is the militant group, the Al-Shabaab. Just a scenario to show you that the media environment is deadly here in Somalia in the report that we just filed right now. In the recent attack on Hotel Sahafi, that was on the 1st of November, the Al-Shabaab launched a deadly attack on Hotel Sahafi that housed government officials and security forces. Basically, the Al-Shabaab placed an explosive-laden vehicle outside the entrance of that hotel. Now, this was a different attack from the previous attacks that the Al-Shabaab carried in such areas. And basically the reporters went there to film the event as it unfolded there. But little did they know that the vehicle that was planted outside there had an explosive devices, and they were using it as a shield or as a cover so that they can be able to get the actual to get a nice footage or to get a nice view and use it as a protection cover. So basically that tells you that the environment here in Somalia is totally very unfriendly for media professionals. Another thing to note is that the Al-Shabaab remains a potential threat to media workers. They threaten reporters on most occasions. In areas that they control, they have confiscated media station, and in areas that they used to control also, they have confiscated radio station, taken the equipments out of the area. They have banned some of the reporters from working in some of the regions that they control. So basically that tells you that the environment here in Somalia is very unfriendly for media workers, and it's not just specific targets, maybe like the government, those working for the government. Basically any journalist who is in Somalia is a potential target for the militant group Al-Shabaab or any other unknown gunmen who carry out attacks. And one of the contributing factors that makes them continue to launch deadly attacks on media workers is the fact that there's so much impunity here in Somalia. Gunmen or members of the militant group Al-Shabaab continue to kill journalists, yet they're never brought to book. So basically this gives them a more boost and gives them more power and more reason to continue to launch deadly attacks on media professionals.
And Abdulaziz, what can you tell us about the people attacking the journalists? Are they targeting specific media houses, or is it anyone who crosses their path?
Basically, it depends on different attacks. Different media workers lose their life. But basically, there's no specific target that the militant group or the unknown gunmen launch the attacks on media. They basically attack indiscriminately, because we have witnessed a number of private media journalists. Let's say, for instance, in 2012, the year that witnessed the highest number of killing of media workers, 18 in number. So most of them were from a private media organization. Very few of them were working with the Somali state broadcaster, that is Radio Mogadishu, or the Somali national TV. Most of them were from private media. But throughout different years, the Al-Shabaab continued to launch deadly attacks on media professionals on different categories, be it from the private media, be it those working for the government. So there's no clear label that the Al-Shabaab or the attackers use. Let's say, for instance, they attack a specific media company. They don't do that. They just attack any other media professional that they see is a threat to them, or they kill media workers just to create fear among the journalists, like whatever we witnessed in early December when they planted an explosive device in the vehicle of Hindia Haji. Hindia Haji was working with the state broadcaster Radio Mogadishu. So she was the latest victim of the ongoing attacks against the media. Not to forget that in 2012, 3 media workers, 2 of them working with the state broadcaster, including the husband of the late Hindia, also he lost his life in a related Al-Shabaab attack at a hotel here in Mogadishu. So basically, every other journalist here in Somalia remains a potential threat from the Al-Shabaab.
Abdulaziz, thank you for speaking to us. That was CCTV's Abdulaziz Bilo joining us from Mogadishu, speaking to us about the security concerns of journalists in the Somali capital.